Hey, hey, hi, hi, hello, hello. We are reading more Boku no Hero Academia. Deku has just leapt into the fray against Shigaraki himself in a move that seems very, very emotionally motivated. But right here at the start of the chapter, we see his internal monologue. He's still thinking. He's still using his analytical brain. He has a plan, even though it seems like he's just getting wrecked. Shigaraki's definitely quicker than me, but I'll make it so he can't escape and put an end to him for sure. Gotta end this fast and help Gran Torino. Of course, this is the real true motivation. He's freaking out about the fact that one of his most precious mentors has been possibly eviscerated. It didn't look good. It looked like he was doing some Mortal Kombat stuff to him. And he notices that he has the deleter round. The bullets made after torturing Eri by, what was that guy's name? You know, the mafioso type guys. So, I don't know. Deku is actually quite assessing the situation well. I thought this was maybe kind of like a break from his stalwart analyticism, but I'm impressed. Okay, so he unleashes the 100% smash, which of course does terrible temporal damages to his bones and muscles and stuff that he does not GAF right now. The black vines have Shigaraki tied up so he can't avoid the attack. I forgot how Eraserhead's powers works. Shoutouts to Crippled Lamp, I believe, is their username, for reminding me that he doesn't actually have to stare at Tomura the entire time. He just has to not blink. Once he's like locked onto someone, the eyes are like associated. So if I was the Hero Association, my game plan would be to have him like helicopter in, look at the villain, helicopter back out in a special chair where you can just sit there having eye drops placed in him like in a Clockwork Orange. Um, but I suppose they also want him to fight. He has a lot of actual combat expertise as well. Anyways, I kind of hurt my eyes by opening them so wide. Let's just see how effective this attack is. Because the actual physical limits of Shigaraki, we haven't really seen pushed yet after this big transformation. Jeez, another really grotesque panel of Tomura-chan biting down on Deku's arm. Feel like there's nothing that can stop me now. And this is a very rare glimpse into his mind post-transformation. But it seems like the same ecstasy of power that we keep getting hints at is still fueling him, fueling this lust for battle. As long as I keep my dreams, my origin within my heart. Ooh, jeez. Okay, that kind of seems like GG. Eraserhead gets hit with the Airy bullet. His erasing powers are offline. I don't really know. See, this was the one done well, I think, to emphasize the usefulness of Eraserhead within the hero organization, that he has this extremely unique quirk that can nullify even the most terrifying powers. That emphasized, like, in turn, you know, that really reinforced just how scary Tomura's quirk was. That it was just dusting everything, it was collapsing mountains, it was almost out of control with its scope and its effectiveness. So, you know, it kind of set up this like kind of hierarchy of powers, this very fragile system by which the heroes had any sort of chance. And now that has been nipped, Eraserhead shot, and kind of like following this cascade down, all of the writing indicates that it's just game over for the heroes. Now, I don't really think that that's going to be the case, of course. I don't think that Boku no Hero Academia is just going to end right now with Shigaraki triumphant. Seems unlikely. This is, of course, the story of Deku becoming the greatest hero. But, like, what is going to happen? Deku is going to get dusted, like, right now. He's within Tomura's mouth. The duster's mouth. It's got a delete around. All I needed to hear, Ryuku. Thanks to your warning, I can handle this nice and rationally without any hesitation. Ooh, okay, so I kind of like this. It's like Tomura pinned everything on the deleter round. But because of this whole other rich, lovely backstory, this B plot of helping Eri out, understanding her powers better, working with her in a kind and empathetic fashion, working alongside her instead of just using her. They have a countermeasure. This was a surprise, right? I'm not forgetting something. This was a surprise. They have a countermeasure in place for the deleter round. They're working on it, of course, for Minato, for Le Millionaire, whatever his name is. I think it's something like that. Okay. So what is their countermeasure? Really are pretty cool, Eraser, but even you are bound to flinch. Oh. Oh my gosh. He just cut his leg off, didn't he? He's unsheathed his knife as soon as he heard that there was a deleter round. And he was ready to remove any part of the body that it hit. Wow, okay. So again, just this hierarchy I mentioned of Eraserhead's power being so essential is reinforced even further. And then, of course, further emphasizing just how terrifying Shigereki's quirk is. That's what he's doing, right? I haven't misunderstood this. So it's not so much that they understood a complete countermeasure to the deleter round. They just understood its mechanism better and realized this could be the final resort. This could be what he has to do. Okay. Shockwave to repel himself away. Shigereki runs. Everyone is knocked back. Finally, I'm about to clear the stupid game. His power is still not active. Eraserhead's eyes so bloodshot, it's really uncomfortable. Again, I'm reminded of the Peep Show scene, which I think everyone should watch. Mark makes Moroccan pasta. If you put that in YouTube, you'll see the insanity of which I speak. Only two men have suffered like this. Eraserhead and Mark Corrigan. Okay. So he's not getting dusted right away. We see the fingers sink in, but that's just through Shigereki's physical strength. It's not like their previous fight, way back at Universal Studios Japan, where just the 5 fingers were enough to start the dusting. Okay. But before he can really attack, he's speared with ice. Could it be Todoroki? Yeah! The third kid, the third disciple of Endeavor has arrived. Back there, he was the one following them. And I like this. I like that it's not so much that Todoroki has the perfect power for this occasion. That would maybe be a little bit on the nose. But simply that through the bonds of friendship, through their camaraderie, he didn't hesitate to chase after some of the most powerful heroes and villains being engaged in this insane life or death battle. He made it there. He was the one that made it there because he had this selflessness, because they had that connection. I like that. And then, of course, he's just strong enough to make a difference. In that critical moment, he's strong enough to make a difference. There's a very fine line in shonen writing, I think, between just the sort of ass pull, I'm sorry to use such a vulgar term, but the ass pull save the day scenario where there's no real emotional impact. It's like, and now so-and-so is here. And you're like, okay. Versus something that has like an emotional weight to it because you knew there was that possibility, because you were kind of hoping for, anticipating it, and that it signifies something about the character relationships and not just about the tide of the battle. And as we talked about last chapter, I think they've done a really good job establishing this idea of anyone could show up in this big chaotic war, but it's also reasonable that someone would not have the ability to show up. Anyways, even more exciting. Deku lands a solid smash into the gut of Shigereki. There's no way this doesn't have any effects. Smash indeed. Awesome lettering. Sensei's eyes are streaming blood now. It's unclear. It looks like they're just barely open. The one on his left, you can see a tiny slit with a pupil. The one on his right is deluged in blood. We don't really know when the power goes offline, like at what millimeter width apart his eyelids need to be to keep it going. Ooh, this is so clutch. It's so cool that like the true potential of this power, this sort of crisis, this sort of use of the erasing, has always been hinted at. It's always been apparent that this is something that a major battle could hinge on. Right from like chapter 2, or whenever Eraserhead is introduced, we understood that possibility. But now we're like really excruciatingly seeing what that means. Like we're really experiencing what it's like to try to fight with your eyes open. So you protected him, so what? Delay the inevitable all you like. Destruction is all that awaits you. So Tomura, again, not really visibly hurt. It's like his power is terrifying for sure, his quirk. But I think they're starting to realize, just as a fighter, as a physical human being, he is also among the absolute top tier we've encountered in this series. And that it's not going to be about, you know, just turning off his quirk long enough to beat him up. They're actually going to need something, some strategy, some new resource, some more pro heroes. Just spam them at him to actually make a difference. Okay, hard cut. We're back with the rescue team. We haven't seen these guys in a while. We saw a lot of the mansion invasion team, and then Deku was actually originally part of this team. But of course, with all of these crises at the hospital, you know, he's got bigger fish to fry. But I like this. Again, it reinforces kind of the image of a hero, that these guys are still doing their jobs, still evacuating people, still trying to restore order. Not since he said he dragged the lockdown boys back. I like that they're called the lockdown boys. So yeah, Todoroki ran off, I think, you know, because he thought they were being stupid. Maybe they were being stupid, I don't know. But he got there all the same. News alert can't be real. What's going on in this country? Evacuating the affected areas. A supermassive villain is currently making a beeline directly north from Mount Gunga and Wakayama Prefecture to Jaku City in the greater Kyoto region. Villain's predicted route will take him through Mino City, Kakun City, Nabaro City, Hando City, Mosu City, Horiso City, Kuraudo City, Karida City, Karamari City, Suinara City, Hao City, and Sairo City, Shindo City, Anoto City, Deno City, Ota City, Asaruda City, Nabato City, Kawa City, Kohara City. Now, I mean, it's kind of silly that I read all of that out, but I really wanted to emphasize, which I think was what they're trying to do, the scale of Gigantomachia's attack. Also, this is quite devastating, just to see the failure, just in silent retrospect, as if a helicopter was just panning over it, totally oblivious to what the scene below means, that they failed. They failed to stop Gigantomachia. We can see Mount Lady passed out here. I don't know who that other guy is. I can't quite recognize him, but Gigantomachia's rampage continues. Yeah, I really wanted to emphasize the hugeness of that scale. All these cities that are going to be hit. You look back at previous arcs, they would call it like the incident of whatever city, right? And the incident was like maybe 2 or 3 blocks exploded in some big fight. Gigantomachia is going to plow through every single one of those cities. Every single one of those cities is going to have a similar incident, if not worse, because of what's happening right now. Oh, this is quite the shot. Oh, man. Again, just Gigantomachia. Now, I'm sorry, is this area, like, super special? It looks quite familiar. Is Deku's mom in this apartment? Is that what's going on? Something like that? I feel like the depiction of this area looks really familiar, but at the same time, it could be going for an effect of, like, you know, every one of these little blocks is precious. Every one of these little residential shopping neighborhoods is precious to someone. Someone lives there, someone shops there, someone works there, someone commutes there and commutes away from there. It's all happening. And then this force of nature, this force of unholy unnature, if you will, is just plowing right through it. Well done, but unsettling. Okay, let's look forward to next week when we see the true scale of this destruction, perhaps. Bye bye for now.